The government's being accused of trying to slip through a law change that some say would essentially decriminalise the possession of Class A drugs. The Police Association says it has concerns about the wording of the Misuse of Drugs Amendment Bill, which states prosecution for possession should not be brought unless it's required in the public interest. A member of the Law Society says he can't think of any situation where that would be the case. Ben Strang has more.
The proposed bill seeks to classify the two main synthetic cannabinoids as Class A drugs and give police better powers of search and seizure. The president of the Police Association, Chris Cahill, says he largely supports the bill, but it goes too far and is too wide-ranging.
We certainly understand the concerns of classifying these synthetics as Class A and the potential to expose users to further penalties. However, we believe that they go too far, and the changes create a presumption from prosecution to non-prosecution for all drugs and for all users, and we think that's too far.
The proposed changes give police the power to use discretion to prosecute for possession, and says a prosecution should not be brought unless it's required in the public interest. In a Health Select Committee meeting this morning, the two main points of contention were the use of discretion as well as the threshold a drug is deemed to be used for supply. Mr Cahill says the changes may be aimed at synthetic cannabis, but would spread to other substances like methamphetamine.
We submit that if there is a wish to decriminalise drug use, then that needs to be debated publicly rather than slipped in under a discretion, which we believe 7.5 does.
The Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, defended the wording of the bill during her bridge run, saying it didn't decriminalise the possession of illicit drugs.
It still stays within our Misuse of Drugs Act. There is still discretion for the police in there. There will be a number of circumstances that we can't necessarily account for where the police may find that they, for someone who holds enough for it to be considered just possession for personal use, where there would be a public interest reason for them to prosecute, and that ability remains.
The Law Society's Chris Macklin works as a prosecution lawyer in Rotorua and was quizzed at the Select Committee by National Party MP Michael Woodhouse.
As a good defence lawyer, a man of words, you would be going pretty hard out to defend your client that the prosecution should never have been brought before the courts.
Absolutely.
Right. Can you conceive of, as a prosecutor now,
yes,
advising the police or receiving advice from the police that a prosecution for possession only of any drug would ever be in the public interest under this Act?
No, I can't on the spot now conceive of that.
Mr Macklin says the Law Society is concerned about the discretion given to police in the Act.
The Society acknowledges wholeheartedly the progress that police have made in identifying and addressing risks of unconscious bias in the exercise of their powers. But it cannot remove the risk of such acknowledged but unconscious bias impacting on the exercise of this discretion.
Janelle Dimas-Kure is the kai whakahaere of Hapai Te Haura, and she says she's been profiled twice this month just because she's Māori.
We've been running workshops with our health workforce. They've admitted that, or they've brought to light that they believe that drug and addiction issues are a justice issue. Now, if that's our health workforce, I can only imagine what our justice and corrections workforce believes. So discretion creates this huge gaping hole of uncertainty, particularly when we know that Māori are most adversely affected by that.
Submitters were also concerned that, under the law, someone caught with more than 56 grams of synthetic cannabis would be presumed to be supplying the drug. Chris Macklin says 56 grams is only a few days' worth of synthetic cannabis for some heavy users, and so that figure needs to be reviewed. For Checkpoint, Ben Strang.